I'd like to say something about another aspect of this question. It's part of a bigger question, isn't it? Just over a year ago, I nearly died because something went wrong with my heart. And the medics saved my life in the last moment. I was very grateful to God for that, but in the same year, my sister lost her 22-year-old just married daughter to brain cancer. And I've got to have a faith, ladies and gentlemen, that copes with both. Otherwise it's trivial. And I want to say to you that when Michael Shermer or any other of the new atheists or anyone else raises this question, it's not simply their question, it's mine. Because the problem of suffering and evil is the hardest problem I face as a Christian. And it's the reason why many of my colleagues, though they think they possibly can see some evidence of God in the universe, they don't believe in a personal God because of the evil, disease, suffering, and the rest of it. Now, to go into that in detail would take another lecture, so I'm going to give you the short answer. They solve it by saying there isn't a God. And they've solved it because then what would you expect but what we see? A mixed bag with the most people suffering and some people being lucky for a few years, and then the forces of nature crushing the lot of us in the end. So the atheist has solved an intellectual problem, but I notice that the suffering's still there. And they've no hope. They have no problem. I have the problem because I still believe in God, but I tell you something else, I've got hope. I remember once, it's happened several times, talking to people who told me that this was the reason they didn't believe in God. I said, okay, there's no God then. That's just the way it is. And they looked at me very strangely and said, but you still believe in God? I said, yes, I do. And they said, why? And I said, well, if you remove God from the equation, you've removed all hope. But because I believe in God, I've got hope. And I said, I want to tell you something more. You know, I believe that Jesus is God. Yes. He died on a cross. If that is God on a cross, what is it saying to us? Surely it's saying at least this, that if that is God, it means that he has not remained distant from the problem of human suffering, but has himself become part of it. And that is what gives me a window of hope. What has the atheist got to say to the armless person? What has the atheist got to say to the young woman who's going to die of cancer? Nothing. But the Christian can come alongside with all sympathy as Jesus did and weep at what sin has done to our world and death. But tell them that death is not the end. There is to be, ladies and gentlemen, a resurrection of the dead. There is to be an ultimate answer to this problem of suffering. And God will not only be just, he will be seen to be just. It seems to me here that although we face a difficult problem, atheism doesn't make it easier, it makes it infinitely worse.